Ntate Masemola. Ntate
Welcome.
Masemola ona bothata ke re ha ke nwa kofi.
Re tlo ba le bona ha o bua le rona ntse. Motaung and Councillor Mbana from METSIMAHOLO local municipality. We're going to be talking about a tender, a security tender. There's a forensic investigation that has come out. Remember, previously we spoke about it. There was an interview whereby we spoke to the executive mayor of METSIMAHOLO local municipality, and some of the questions that I asked the executive mayor. There's this thing about the driver and the bodyguard. I remember very well. I personally asked the executive mayor about it, and he rejected all the allegations. And when you look at the forensic investigation, that question, it popped up, but we are going to talk about it. And Ntate, welcome to Central News.
Rale wa Ntate Masemola.
Ntate re teng mohlomphehi.
Let me start with Councillor Mbana. Councillor Mbana, we saw a few weeks back, there was a motion of no confidence against the executive mayor. But few days later, we saw the executive mayor coming back to office. And many people, they want to know about it. What happened? How did it happen that the executive mayor came back to office?
Thank you very much, Ntate Masemola. Let me say that we informed the speaker prior to the council meeting being called, and we gave the speaker our view in terms of the legality of the meeting itself. But then what transpired in council is that you would remember that a council is run in terms of standing rules and orders. And when you submit a motion of no confidence, obviously you will be using Rule 90 of those standing rules and orders. And in those standing rules and orders, sub-rule 4 states clearly that when there is a motion, the executive mayor has a right to bring witnesses and cross-examine witnesses. And in this case, in that council meeting, the speaker actually denied the executive mayor that right to bring the witnesses on his side. So that would mean that the speaker then broke the sub-rule 4 of the standing rules and orders, and we could not just sit and do nothing. We had to challenge that in a competent court of law, of which that is what we did. And one thing that people should understand is that you cannot sit and do nothing when a law is being broken, because you would be setting a precedence in the entire country. So that cannot happen. And the court agreed with our views, and it led the removal of the executive mayor as null and void. Hence, the executive mayor came back.
Okay, that was not what we were going to talk about today. Let's leave it for another day. Your reaction to the forensic report. I remember I spoke to some of you about, are you ready as the Democratic Alliance to have maybe a forensic investigation on this? Many of you said, yes, we want to see that going through, but there seem to be disagreements. Your reaction to the report itself?
Ntate Masemola and your listeners, as the Democratic Alliance, we have never been against any forensic investigation to be done. And even in council, when the report was tabled, we accepted the report, and we agreed with the recommendations thereof, even though we were of the view of, in terms of some of them being premature for them to be implemented now. But we fully support the forensic report. And I know that you might want to know what is our position in terms of what was said about the executive mayor in the report. The team, you know, and I have released a statement into that effect, saying the recommendation that the executive mayor must recuse himself because he is conflicted. It is actually, it agrees with or it vindicates the executive mayor, because on the 9th of May, if I'm not mistaken, the executive mayor wrote a letter to the council to request that he be recused on the team that was formulating terms of reference of this investigation. But the council refused for the mayor to recuse himself. And the reason why the executive mayor wanted to be recused, because he did not want to be part of something that his name is mentioned on. So he wanted the process to run without any interference from him. And that, if it is not a sign of being transparent, then I don't know what it is. Because I mean, if you have something you wanna hide, you would wanna be in the middle of that. But the executive mayor proactively and voluntarily wrote to the council to say he wants to recuse himself from that process. So that is, for me and for anyone else, a sign of transparency, because the executive mayor has got nothing to hide in this matter.
Yes. Tell me about you spoke about recommendations that were released prematurely. Which one?
No. What we felt is that because there are 3 recommendations that we were not comfortable with, that the suspended must be reported to the legal counsel, and there's another one where it was saying, I can't remember them all now, but we felt that to recommend somebody to be reported when the investigations are still continuing and that person has not been found guilty, we felt that it might be premature. Maybe it's something that should be done when the case is concluded.
Okay. Is that the only one?
Yeah, but the acting explained to the council that actually it is something that should be done just to let them know what is happening. And then the results will then be given, the final results will then be given to the council again, of which we understood.
Yes, today we are having a report, and one of the questions, or previously when we spoke to the executive mayor, was, are you aware of your driver and bodyguard being involved in the tender processes? And he said, no, I'm not aware of it. And he gave us an impression that they were not involved in any way. And then now here are the recommendations, and they're saying your driver and your bodyguard, they were involved on this process. As the Democratic Alliance, your reaction to that, because we would want to hear your side of the story, and what do you think must be done going forward? Because it's something that was in the public domain.
Okay. No, Masemola, you know, we need to unpack something for people to understand that whether people are working in a political office, but they are subject to HR policies of the municipality, and therefore they are accountable to the accounting officer. which is now the MM. So the MM, as an accounting officer, the administration is his responsibility. And the MM has made it clear, even in writing, that he, as the municipal manager, appointed the bodyguard of the executive mayor. So the executive mayor did not appoint his bodyguard to be the end user, as people are trying to portray outside, as if the executive mayor is the one who appointed his bodyguard. That is not the case. And even on the report, there is an attachment to that effect, where the MM wrote a memo to say he appointed the bodyguard of the executive mayor to be the end user in that process.
Yes, Motaung, let me welcome you. I know you've been quiet for quite some time. Motaung, we know that you've released a statement as the economic freedom fighters. You've also listened to Mbana. Your reaction to the report?
Thank you very much, Ntatowaka. As economic freedom fighters, we start by acknowledging and welcoming the final forensic investigation report on the allegation of misconduct against the METSIMAHOLO municipal manager, the CFO, and other employees of the municipality. Ntatowaka, we are not just acknowledging and welcoming, we are welcoming the same report with its findings. They are outlined findings within the report and also the recommendation thereof of the very same report. Ntatowaka, will start by saying we are vindicated as economic freedom fighters. We knew from the beginning that the DA Mayor, Councillor Jeff Zwane, is implicated in the awarding of the security tender. Started by being involved in all the processes. You'll remember how tender aids were there, different committees established by the municipality. The municipal manager will establish and appoint a bid specification committee, will appoint a bid evaluation committee, will appoint a bid adjudication committee. Here we see a municipal manager from the bid specification committee appoints a VIP, a driver and a protector of the executive mayor as a technical contact person. The question that you must ask Kiaore, when this person, Elurinki, a VIP driver and a protector appointed as a technical contact person for a security services, all along when attending the meetings, who is driving the mayor? One. And to be frank enough with you, Ntatowaka, this VIP driver and a protector accounts directly to the executive mayor as his political master, and will never do anything without a mandate of this political office bearer called a DA executive mayor. So the DA cannot run and hide. And Councillor Mbana cannot come here and give a wishy-washy reactions to us. We know what is happening. Maybe these are things that they are doing in Western Cape, but cannot happen here in METSIMAHOLO. It has never happened on earth where a personal VIP protector and a driver to the executive mayor are forming a part of an bid specification, committee. When I said we are welcoming even the findings, there are specific findings after the appointment. There were even duplicate payments in March of over 3 million. Not only duplicate payments by one invoice, and also overpayment of over 2.3 million, let alone issue of a VIP driver, let alone issue of VIP protector of the mayor. Where was the mayor when duplicate payment was effected of over 3 million and overpayment of over 2.3 million? Because the mayor is charged with a responsibility of So can you hear me?
Yeah.
The mayor is charged with that responsibility of providing a political guidance over the financial affairs of the municipality. And again, let alone issue of a VIP driver and a protector. The mayor and the municipal manager failed to report an irregular payment of a duplicate and irregular payment of overpayment of 2.3 million to a council. So Mona DA can run but cannot hide. So the mayor is directly implicated and directly interfering with the affairs of this, security tender. So we are standing by the recommendation that says a criminal case of corruption and fraud must be opened against the municipal manager and the CFO. And as EFF, we are saying, must also be opened against the executive mayor. And when you look deeper into that report, maybe Councillor Mbana never habala that report of final forensic report. So it tells you during the bid evaluation committee, recommended a different company. But when the CFO comes back to a bid adjudication committee, came with his own recommendation to a different company, tampering with a tender documents, because the company Isidingo that was recommended by CFO alone was disqualified by a bid committee because there was no military veteran certificate, there was no a force number of the military, and a lot of issues, both for Isidingo and the subcontractor of a security to Isidingo. So when you check properly that audit report, so there were tampering of even the pages. So here, the DA government is highly implicated in a deep fraud and corruption, and they cannot hide it. From the starting point of bid specification committee, where they irregularly appointed executive mayor, VIP, protector, and by evaluation committee, bid evaluation committee, where recommendations were made to a different company, not Isidingo. And finally, to bid adjudication committee, where the CFO and the municipal manager appointed a company that was disqualified by a bid evaluation committee. So the report and its findings, good and excellent. That's a wonderful report. And also the recommendation, very wonderful report. So
I was about to come to yes. I was about to come to the issue of recommendations. We know that one of them, and I also saw them on your statement, you also mentioned the issue of consequence management. Most of the time, we've seen reports, we've seen everything in government, but we've never seen these things being implemented. As the economic freedom fighters, how are you going to make sure that all these recommendations are being implemented?
Recommendation, it's all about disciplinary processes to be effected, and also a consequences management. With us as economic freedom fighters, we are going to ensure that there is effective disciplinary processes effected against the municipal manager and CFO, and as well as the executive mayor, you can see that we have already filed a motion of no confidence again. And this motion of no confidence, Jeff Zwane cannot escape this one. Cannot escape this one. So
okay.
that is us as...
Let me go back to Ntate Mbana. I'm going to come back to you, Ntate Mbana.
Oh, you're touching me now.
One of the things is the issue of the security guard and the driver of the executive mayor being involved. And the question is, so somebody who's listening to you right now, who would say, if your driver, your bodyguard is involved, and these people, they are with you on a daily basis, how do we say you were never involved in this?
Masemola, you know what? I think it is very important for us to put things into perspective here. And I know that politicians, they like politicking. They like taking a tissue and make it an issue in a quest to score political points. I'm a politician, I know that. But it is wrong as community leaders to be misinforming people and lying to the people, and under the guise of holding who are accountable. We need to be clear here. You know, I've been listening to Councillor Motaung talking about how the executive mayor is implicated, but he is not saying how and where. And as we are seated here, there is no evidence whatsoever that suggests that the executive mayor has...
my question is simple.
Yes.
On a daily basis, I have the bodyguard and my driver with me.
Yes.
And these two people, we are not going to... The report, it tells you that they took part. How is it possible that they are not even communicating with me as my protector and my driver on a daily basis? To somebody who's not a politician, to somebody who just wants the truth, who's listening to us right now, how do you clarify that?
Look, as I was saying to you, Mr. Masemola, that we need to be realistic and truthful about these matters. The executive mayor's bodyguard was not appointed by the executive mayor, was not appointed by the executive mayor, was appointed by the MM. And it is an undeniable fact, even if we try to politicize the whole thing, it is an undeniable fact that the officials of the municipality are accountable to the municipal manager. So it is a misconception to sell people lies and say they are directly accountable to the executive mayor. That is not the truth.
My driver, my bodyguard, they are directly accountable to me because they are assigned to do a certain job for me. Yes. So what do you mean? They are not directly...
Mr. Masemola.
No, I'm just asking a simple question.
Mr. Masemola, who is responsible for administrative issues of the municipality?
You are not. I'm not here to respond to questions, Mbana. You are here to respond to them.
So okay. So now I'm trying to show you that employees of the municipality are accountable to the MM. That is a fact, and the MM appointed the driver on his own. He used his own powers to appoint the person. So, and one other thing that we need to be clear about is that to come and say the executive mayor was involved, I think it would be prudent for us to bring those how the executive mayor was involved, because the report itself, it does not say anything where it says the executive mayor was involved in this process. It only talks about his proximity to the bodyguard who was appointed to be an end user. That's all that it says. There is nowhere where...
As the Democratic Alliance, do you see anything wrong?
Masemola, can I get in?
Yes, okay. That Mbana, is the Democratic Alliance. Do you see anything wrong? Any wrongdoing there?
Yes. When we learned that, okay, when we learned that, we spoke to the executive mayor and said it cannot be correct that a person who is so close to you can be part of the processes. And the executive mayor in turn spoke to Advocate Mofokeng and say, as much as this is your duty as the MM, but it cannot be correct that a person who is so close to me to be used as an end user or to be part of the processes. We never agreed with that from the beginning.
Okay. Are we going to see the case has been open? Are you going to open it? And when is it? If
I'm going to conclude with that one, but I want to make Councillor Mbana aware. Harry questioned the executive mayor about the personal and closer to him. Politically, that is nepotism. So must never run away from the point of that is a nepotism. The mayor only a responsibility to play a serious oversight over the financial affairs of the municipality. By July this year, the Internal Audit Division identified or there was an irregular expenditure of duplicate payment, and the mayor is aware of, done nothing about it. Internal Audit Division investigated and find out that there is an overpayment of 2.3 million on that security tender. The mayor done nothing so far. So the DA mayor is implicated. And even immediately after this report, nothing is happening. Here it is a direct involvement of the executive mayor, of a DA. They are directly implicated and involved in this corruption and fraud. Not only corruption and fraud. So from the bid specification committee to bid evaluation committee to bid adjudication committee, DA deployees, they are the bunch of criminals. You can see how he's mixing his words in defense of his mayor. His mayor is directly involved whatsoever. No one will change that. And Councillor Mbana must know there were systematic and methodology approaches on this investigative report. It's not out of imagination. It's not out of imagination. It's a report that is tested against all odds. It's a real and evident forensic report. So it's evidence-based. So they are implicated through their mayor. Their mayor is corrupt.
Their mayor is corrupt. How do you get out of this one? Maybe I should give you an opportunity to respond direct on what Ndatim said. I think maybe you are the relevant person for now. Give us a response. Just give us a response on it.
No, and I've listened carefully, but to me, what Councillor Motaung is saying, he keeps on repeating things that he would like to portray as facts, of which they are not. You would understand that if there are any criminal actions done by the executive mayor, I'm sure the criminal cases would have been opened by now. And to assure you and the listeners that we are not protecting the executive mayor because we know he's guilty. When the recommendation of Schedule 7 of the Structures Act to be effected, which deals with the code of conduct of councillors, we actually supported that recommendation because we know and we are not hiding anything. Now,
listen. Right now, you are doing the same thing. You just said in the repeat some of the things. The we respond is that Nelele aware as the Democratic Alliance the allegations that 3 million duplication. That's all I wanted you to respond on.
When you get aware of something, we need normal processing. Nothing has been done. That is incorrect, because I am very much aware that had a meeting with the acting MM, asking him how far are the investigations on these payments that are made, because the executive mayor is very much concerned about these payments. Yes, it is true that these payments have been made, and he's aware of it. And last week, he was with the acting MM, asking him to update him as to how far he is. Because you cannot just come and report something that you have not gathered all the facts. And a person who needs to do that is the accounting officer. And then when he's done, he needs to report to the executive mayor. So it is incorrect to expect or to say that the executive mayor has done.
We'll get back to you. There seems to be a network problem.
Political head of the
there seems to be a network problem from your side. Let me go back to Ndademtong. Let's continue when he's coming back. Yes.
Yeah.
You also
Masemola, we are going to open a criminal case, fraud and corruption, against the DA, the outgoing DA executive mayor, Councillor Jeff Zwane. We are going to open a criminal case of fraud and corruption against the municipal manager and the CFO. They are implicated here. There is a serious substance that they are implicated and involved. So there is money, financial misconduct involved in this matter. So the DA cannot run and hide. The DA is presiding over a corrupt administration of METSIMAHOLO local municipality. Bakanaba Votaka Meyani, an old woman called Ellen Zille, coming wishy-washy here, but they are implicated into a very serious corruption of a security tender. So they cannot run and hide. So we are going to open a case, criminal case again, against Isidingo Security Services. We must send these guys to prison. We are going to do that as economic freedom fighters. These are a bunch of corrupt people presiding over administration of METSIMAHOLO.
I don't think Mbana will be able to join us again due to the network challenges and the load shedding as well is affecting our interview. In 5 minutes, your last words for today.
My last words, DA cannot be honest in leading METSIMAHOLO local municipality. They are forever involved in a scandal after scandal in METSIMAHOLO. As economic freedom fighters, we filed a motion of no confidence against the corrupt executive mayor of DA, Jeff Zwane. We are going to remove him in ensuring that we are protecting the public purse of our community in METSIMAHOLO. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That came to the end of our interview for today. Let's meet again.